How we all doing, man? What is going on out there Monday morning or Monday evening? Got the Sixers on. Looks like they handling business. They up by 11. Just started the fourth quarter. Got 10:55 left. So my grandson's at that game somewhere. I've been trying to see him on TV, but it ain't been working. So, but what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. Make sure I got everything going on. I got the YouTubes, my people on YouTubes. I got some people in the comments already. Jason Sink, as usual. First out the limo. Chris Bruce, number 2 out the limo. What's good? What's happening? What's popping? What's happening? So, let's see my Twitter stream is, I think my Twitter stream is slow. Wow. Okay. It's all good, though. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's go. All right. We're going to take that. Good. Cool. All right. We got it moving. We got it on and popping. We got things rolling. What's happening? What is happening? Got my second monitor going. I'm going to try to get to some mock draft a little bit. I started writing notes like on Eagle stuff because I meant eventually the purpose of this stream was to get to like doing a little bracketology, but I might have to hold that off, man. I got a page and a half full of notes about the Eagles. Just thinking, just riffing, going off stuff, man. A lot of stuff going on, man. I saw first off was they announced that we're going to be playing the Browns in Brazil. So that's our week 1. And can't wait to see it. That should be a good game. Browns are pretty good, man. Browns are on the come up. A lot of good teams on the come up, man. It seems like every team in the NFC East is on the way up. We're getting better. Washington's getting better. The Giants, they're getting better, but they still need a quarterback. And then, of course, the Cowboys, we don't know what they're going to do. So, but at least it's not going to be the NFC least anymore. But we getting it done. We getting it done. So, yeah, we're going to be playing the Browns in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So we don't get that on and popping. I've got to get, if anybody knows anybody from Brazil, yeah, I would love to get somebody on this podcast from Brazil. Follows the Sao Paulo Football Club or something like that. I'm trying to make that happen, but the reality of the situation is I don't know nobody out there. So I'm gonna have to make some connections via Facebook or YouTube or something to see if I can make something happen. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups specifically about like growing your YouTube channel. And that's more of an international because you can tell just by the way people type stuff in that they're not from the States. So maybe I can hook up with somebody from Brazil in that regard. I don't know. We'll have to see. Man, I've been doing all this and forgot to give me some water. And I got a little bit in my bottle left and a little bit in my water bottle. So might have to cut and run for a couple seconds. But in any case. So, yeah, we got the Browns, so that should be a fun game. And going into 2024, man, it's going to be same as like the last 5 years. The first 4 weeks are going to be the preseason because they don't hit in preseason. So, yeah, hopefully somebody can find me, Chris. If anybody out there, if y'all listening, if you know anybody in Brazil, hook it up. I'm trying to get in touch with some people. If you listening on the Twitter space, if y'all got some connections with somebody from Brazil, hook it up. I want to make that contact, man. We're gonna go global. Pro Fan Talk Global. You better recognize. So that'll be fun, man. But check this out, though. This is one of the things I was thinking about going through my notes. We done had about a month, right? We've had about a month since all of that mess happened. It's been more than a month now. Agreed, 88s. They are a physical team for sure. Your CrossFit coach is from Brazil, but doesn't understand American sports. Good, because I don't want to talk to somebody that listen, there are going to be people at the game just for the spectacle of it. But I'm telling you, listen, if somebody comes out with a Philadelphia Eagles soccer jersey or a Philadelphia Eagles goalie sweater, man, they getting my money. I'm telling you right now, they are getting my money. When I was in the World League, when we was over in Scotland, and we would always travel. Most of the places we traveled, we always went through London Heathrow Airport. And if anybody's ever traveled international and you've been through London Heathrow, you know what I'm talking about. You already know what I'm talking about. Like, you could live in London Heathrow. That airport is phenomenal, right? All the duty-free shops and all of that kind of stuff. That's almost a destination in itself. But I got hooked when I was in Scotland. I got hooked on. I was buying all of the soccer jerseys. I mean, I had Sheffield Wednesday, Manchester United, Arsenal, Glasgow Rangers, Sunderland. Sunderland was a local Scottish team, but I had a Barcelona one. I had this really loud Glasgow Rangers goalie jersey. This thing was ugly, but I loved it. So I used to love that type of stuff, and I still do. I'm a little too fat to wear them, so I kept them as long as I could. Then the belly started sticking out. So, yeah, man, I'm trying to get me some official soccer gear. So if I can, I'm gonna have to get on the website, see if I can find me a Sao Paulo Football Club jersey. I would definitely do that. I would absolutely do that. Let me turn on my banners up yet. Yeah, let me hit that. There we go. We can change that a little bit. Let me see. Selection Sunday. Now we'll take that out. And we'll put in mock drafts coming. There we go. We'll save that. And you'll scroll that across the bottom. So yeah, did I have a Liverpool? I don't think I had a Liverpool. I don't think I had a Liverpool jersey. I remember because at the time, everything at that time now mind you, this is 95, 6, and 7. So when I was over there, everything was Arsenal. Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday were everywhere. So that was the merch that was going. I had a couple of hats. But I think I had 2 Sheffield Wednesday shirts, and I think I had 3 Arsenal shirts, because the Arsenal shirts was dope. I think at the time they were with Adidas. I can't remember. If it was Adidas or Nike. I just remember they were it was there was never one pattern. They had a bunch of different patterns. They were just the reality of it was just stuff that you couldn't find in the United States. And when you wore those things home, it was like, yo, where did you get those? And I would love that, man. You had something that nobody in the States had. Shoot, I remember when I was over, when we was over in Scotland, they had, they had the McFlurries over in Scotland and in Europe before they had them in the United States. Because I remember my wife coming home, and she went to a McDonald's and asked if they had the McFlurry, and they didn't know what she was talking about. What's up, Dave? I see you on the Facebooks, bro. Appreciate you. We rocking, man. We got 52 in the YouTubes, and we got 43 in the Twitter space. So we moving, man. We moving, making things happen, moving and shaking. Hey, Don, Arsenal was it back then, man. Arsenal was everything, bro. I couldn't tell you one player on the team, but I had about 3 or 4 of their shirts, man. It was that was so funny, man. Because it wasn't until I went to Scotland that I ever started playing FIFA, because I was everything was Madden in the States. Unless you were a soccer player, I didn't understand soccer, But I remember when I was over there, when I got back, I remember I bought FIFA, and then I bought, what was the other soccer game that was really good on the game systems? There was another, it was like a rival to FIFA. It was big in Europe, but it hadn't caught on in the States yet, but it was just as good. And I can't remember what the name of it is. Ian Wright. Yep, I remember Ian Wright. Yep. Yeah, man. We had a Glasgow and Edinburgh had a really good rugby team. I mean, it was still the Glasgow Rangers. I had some merch from them too, but Scotland had a guy named Gavin Hastings. He was what they told us. He was like the Michael Jordan of rugby in Scotland. He was that dude. And they put him on our team to boost the ticket sales. And he did. And he was our kicker. So he was a good dude, man. He was a cool dude. So Eric Cantro, attack effect. Was that the dude that kicked the guy in the stands? Like bicycle kicked the dude? I remember seeing that. Man, I've got a tape. It is cringeworthy now, but I would love to get it and like put it on digital just to show it off. What's up, Cody K? I got a tape. I did an interview on BBC Sports. I think it was BBC One. And it was the network that broadcast all of the World League games. And I remember going to the studio in London, and I think I was like special teams player of the week because I had a couple good punt returns or something like that. And I was in the studio, and even back then, man, I was into graphic arts, graphic design, animation. I was always into that type of stuff. And somebody, got a hold of that stuff. So they did a story on me and what I could do with the graphics and stuff like that. And they gave me a Telestrator's pen. And they said, just do some graphic stuff and we'll cut it. So basically the girl was asking me questions, and they brought up the logo of the Scottish Claymores. And basically all I did was like, I put the red pin on, and I put like blood streaks all over the sword or something like that while we were doing the interview. It was fun for me because I was in my element. They did it like in the broadcast booth, so you get all of the TV screens built into the desk and all of the buttons and stuff, how they had it back then because it wasn't digital yet. So showing my age here. But oh man, I remember that, man. It was fun. I've got that stuff on tape. I don't know if it's mini DV or something, but I've got that stuff, man. I gotta find it. I gotta find that, and I gotta find. You know what? Let me see if I can bring that up. I found that. I found a website that had my combine results. Still had my combine results. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see. I had to laugh at that. I thought I did much worse. Here it is. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Hold up. Y'all gonna get a laugh out of this. There we go. So this was this was all of the running backs in my class when I was at the combine. And not for nothing, man. I got invited. So I thought I was doing something. John Morton, James Trapp. I'm trying to think of the ones that really had a pretty decent career. Randy Jordan. I remember being with Randy Jordan. I think it was in Green Bay. I think. Robert Smith. Robert Smith was my roommate at the combine. He was from Ohio State. He knew my boy Alan DeGraffenreid, but he stayed one night in the room and then left. I don't even think he worked out. I think he may have ran a 40 and then left or something like that. Hassan Bailey, Shannon Baker, Quadri Ismail, James Jett. Yo, let me tell you something. James Jett, that 4.49, he was faster than that. I ran against James Jett in track season, and that joker was so fast it wasn't even funny. Who's else? Kevin Williams, Anthony Brooks, Ray Buchanan. He was a cornerback. Ray Buchanan. I knew Ray Buchanan because he went to Louisville. So we ran into each other when I used to go down and party at U of L and all that kind of stuff. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Find. Marcus. There we go. Marcus Thomas, Eastern Kentucky. There I am. Hold on. What happened? Uh-oh. I got big. How did I do that? Uh-oh. There we go. Shouldn't be that damn big. Hold on. Yeah, that's better. All right. So here I am. That is me. And my 40-yard dash was a 4.62. When I had my pro day at Eastern, I ran a 4.48. Now, the one thing I can remember about running at Indy was the turf was different. It was I wasn't used to it. That was the biggest thing. I wasn't used to running on artificial turf. And it was spongy. It was very spongy. And I wasn't used to it. So I knew I didn't run a good time. And all the time I had been practicing, I had been running like 4.55, 4.56 at school. I would have the track coach time me. My buddies, my teammates on the track team, they would time me. And I would be mid 4.5s. I didn't run a 4.6 or above until I went to the combine. So yeah, I had to get used to that running surface, man. It was not easy. And then also I didn't have like the ultra light, super duper feel like you wearing socks shoes. I had regular old, I think I bought a pair of regular track shoes. Not track shoes, but like back then it was like you had the Nike, you could get the Nike waffle shoes. Everything, you had to order everything from the East Bay magazine. So yep, I had a pretty decent vertical jump for somebody that was like 5'10" and 3/8 or whatever they gave me. I thought I had a decent bench press. I had 15 reps on the bench press. That was pretty good. Broad jump was 116, which was pretty good for me. And a pretty decent 20-yard shuttle, man. I had a pretty good thing. Ron Dickerson was one of my teammates in Scotland. Ron Dickerson Jr. Now, Ron Dickerson Jr. was one of my teammates my second year in Scotland when we won the World Bowl. Met his dad, Ron Dickerson Sr. If you don't know, Ron Dickerson Sr. was a member of the 72 Dolphins that went undefeated. Great people, man. His mom, his dad, great people. I remember I went to Ron's room one night, and my girlfriend, who's now my wife, we were all in the room together, and he was just telling stories. Like all of the stuff that used to happen to them back in the 70s. He was telling us stories he said that the women back then would break into the cars of the football players. So when they got out of practice, they would be sitting in the back seat with no clothes on. They would do like off the wall stuff like that. It was the 70s, dude. It was buck wild. She told us somebody knocked on their hotel door and put a baby at the doorstep with a note on it saying it was his baby. Like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, man. You think we nuts. They used to do some crazy stuff back in the 70s too, man. But yeah, man, Ron Dickerson was good people, man. Definitely good people. So but yeah, man, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, man. I had a pretty decent combine in spite of my 40 time. I do believe and this is just me, this is my opinion, but if I would have ran a better 40 time, I think I probably would have got drafted. I ended up signing as a free agent with the Eagles on day 2 of the draft. Fun fact, I was supposed to sign with Seattle there was a guy from the Seattle Seahawks that was in Columbus at Ohio State, and he was signing a couple guys from Ohio State, a couple draft picks and a couple free agents from O State. And he told me, he had called me that morning, told me he was in Columbus and he was going to drive down to Cincinnati. That's about a 2-hour drive. And I was going to meet him down at the University of Cincinnati, where he had some other UC players that they were going to sign. And he ended up calling me a couple hours later and said that they had gone in another direction. And they weren't going to sign me. And you talking about somebody that was heartbroken. Oh my, like I didn't know what. I thought the world was caving in on me, bro. And then shortly thereafter, the Eagles called me and said that they were going to sign me. And then the next couple of days later, I flew out to Philadelphia and signed with the Eagles. So only time I'd ever been the first time I visited Philadelphia before the combine and all that kind of stuff was I ran in the Penn relays. And that was my first time in Philadelphia, and I fell in love with it. First time I went to a Wawa. I didn't know what a Wawa was. One of my frat brothers, who was also on the track team, was from D.C. So him, and it was like we had like four or five people on my track team from the D.C. area, from Maryland, D.C., that area. So they were familiar with Philly and all of this stuff. And I remember we woke up one day and they said, we're going to go get something to eat. We're going to hit the Wawa. Then we're going to go over to the track and get. And I was like, you going to say that again? You going to get a what? We're going to go to the Wawa and get breakfast. I was like, hold on. Say that one more time. I couldn't get what they were saying, man. And finally, when we got to the place, I was like, oh, that's what you were saying. And I was like, I ain't never heard of that before in my life. And I think I got like a turkey and cheese hoagie or something like that. And yeah, man, it was fun. I remember we took a taxi. Once again, showing my age, Uber didn't exist. We took a taxi down South Street because they were having parties at Temple, but never being there before. We took a taxi down South Street, and we went all the way down South Street. We went past the popular part and kept moving. So we saw the real city. And I remember the first thing I'm thinking, I was like, yo, why are all these people double parked in the middle of the street? I was like, what is this? Like, I'd never seen this before. I was like, why are all of the cars parked dead in the middle of the street? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was outdone, man. I'd never seen anything like that. I was in culture shock. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jason, this was my first experience with Wawa was in Philadelphia in 1993 at the Penn Relays. That was me. So, but it was a fun trip, man. And I remember saying on that trip, I was like, I wouldn't mind getting selected by the Eagles and playing in Philly because I had so much fun. Man. So yeah, man, Frank Gore and all them dudes. And I remember at the time, Terry Kirby. Yep. Remember seeing him. Who else? Sean LaChapelle. Sean LaChapelle was one of my teammates with the Claymores. Mike Middleton. Mike Middleton was from Cincinnati. We played in the high school all-star game together. He went to Indiana. He was a running back in high school. He ended up playing DB at Indiana. Kenny Sims, Trevor Cobb. I remember Cobb. I think Cobb was from Cincy too. I think he was one of my homeboys from Cincinnati too. Yep. A lot of people, man. Savage, Charles Thompson, Mark Brunell. I remember Mark. Me and Mark played together. Well, I was in camp with him when he was down at Jacksonville because I was down in Jacksonville during Camp Coughlin. And it was as bad as people said it was. So Tony McGee. Who else? Vaughn Hebron. Vaughn Hebron was my boy. We were the twins with the Eagles. Me and Vaughn were the first 2 undrafted free agents to make the team at the same position, like in a million years with the Eagles. I don't even think it happens that much on all the other teams, but that rarely happens. 2 undrafted free agents make the team at the same position, because we both had phenomenal camps, and they kept both of us. They ended up playing him a couple of games, and they kept me on the active inactive. That was frustrating too, because they had me on active inactive, and I was they would travel me to the games and then make me inactive right before the game. So I would be one of those dudes on the sidelines in street clothes with the security pass around my neck. That's what they would do. But still, man, I was on the active roster though. I was on that roster, so I got that credited year. Who else was on here? Sean Wright, Grady. Trying to remember. I remember Elvis Gerback. Irv Smith was my dude. We became friends. Jamie Martin, Billy Joe Hobart, Shane Matthews. Shane Matthews from Florida was another one of my teammates with the Claymores. Yeah, man, bringing back a lot of memories, dude. All these people, Michael Strahan was there. We came out the same year. I don't even remember seeing him. Alex Van Pelt, Dana Stubblefield. I remember. I'm trying to think who was it, because there was a couple. Ty Parton. Ty Parton was another guy that ended up playing with us in the World League. Leonard Renfro. That's right. Leonard Renfro got drafted by the Eagles. Mike Chilinsky, another one of my buddies. Gilbert Brown, Troy Kopp, Chad Brown, Cameron Hill. Man, I'm bringing back memories, dude. All these people. So, hey, man, I was in a small number, bro. Because I think about it now, and all the people that don't get invited to the combine. Like, you gotta at least be putting it down and show and prove that you belong there. You know what I'm saying? So, I look back on it now, like I'm, pretty proud of it. Just to be able to have that opportunity, just to be part of the less than 1%, man. I tell other people all the time, man. I may have only had a cup of coffee in the NFL, but that's my cup of coffee, and I still did. I'm still part of that less than 1%. You know what I'm saying? So it was all good. What made you choose Eastern Kentucky and not somewhere else? When you come out of high school, Jason, the goal is you want to go to a D1 school, because that's what D1 is the end all be all. We won the state title, and we were ranked. At one point, we were ranked the 12th best high school football team in the country. And we lost. And then, you get kicked out of the rankings when you lose. And then we ended up winning the state title. And at the end of the year, we made it back on the list, and they put us back at as the 24th best team in the country, or something like that. We made the top 25 again by winning state. So there was a lot of people getting recruited, but they didn't let you talk to any scouts until your season was over with. So I wanted to go to either Arizona State or Michigan State. Michigan State was recruiting another one of my teammates named William Reese. He ended up going to Michigan State. And when George Perlis came to my high school, he came on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, the week after we won the state title. The Monday after we won the state title, I got sick. I caught mono. I remember that Monday morning, walking to class. I had a class on the 3rd floor, and I couldn't even make it up I couldn't make it up the steps to get to the 2nd level. I ended up stopping, sat down on the steps, and I just sat there for about 10 minutes before I could get enough strength to walk back to the office and see the nurse. And then I was out of school for that whole week, and that's when all of the scouts came in. So I missed George Perlis. I never got anything from Arizona State. I think I ended up getting like they sent me one letter and that was it. And then I took a visit to Indiana State. I took a visit to University of Toledo. And I wasn't even going to visit Eastern Kentucky. What happened with Eastern Kentucky was in the summertime when everybody was home, because of course, the college gets out way before high school. So one of the guys that was upper class, he was like a senior my freshman year in high school. He was at Eastern Kentucky and he was home at school. Everybody would come back to our school because we had a good weight room. So everybody would come and work out in when they came home. So he saw me one day and he was like, "Hey, did you sign yet? Did you sign with anybody yet?" And I said no. And I talked to him like, "Yeah, probably Toledo." I didn't like Toledo, but I was so hung up on that D1 thing. Toledo was the only other D1 school that wanted me. University of Kentucky wanted me to walk on. So he said, "Come on down. I'm at Eastern Kentucky. Come on down and talk to Coach Kidd, Coach Roy Kidd, and see what happens." And when I got down there, Coach Kidd said, "Nice to meet you. Show me around." He said, "We didn't recruit you because we didn't think we can get you." He said, "But if you'd like a scholarship, we got one waiting for you." So I'm sitting in his office and we talking just like this. Then he drops that in my lap like, "Yeah, we'll offer you a full scholarship." And I was like, "Wait, what? Like, is this how it happens?" That simple. And I signed right there. They had a whole bunch of conference titles. They had won 2 national championships, one in the late 70s, and then they had when I got there in 89, their last championship, I believe, was 82. So we were still in the decade. So it was still being talked about, and Roy Kidd was still very well known in 1AA circles. So, and plus we had legacies out there. We had John Jackson was in the pros. Aaron Jones and John Jackson were with the Steelers. And then my freshman year, Myron Guyton ended up playing with the Giants. Myron Guyton, one of my teammates from EKU. He's been on my show before too. First rookie to ever start for Bill Parcells. Myron Guyton. He was a cornerback. What the heck? Hold on, I got music playing for some reason. What in the world? Hold on for a second. I got stuff going on. I got to figure out where this is coming from. All right. I don't know what that was. But anyways, yeah, man. So we had a legacy, and I ended up at Eastern Kentucky, man, and the rest is history. The rest is history, bro. So I enjoyed it. And we still got, we still be pumping some people in the pros. And when I came out, Jesse Small played here in Philadelphia. Jason Dunn played here in Philadelphia. Then he played another 8 years in Kansas City. So yeah, we had some people that came through and played for Philadelphia, man. So EKU was in the building, bro. Don't sleep on us. Don't sleep on us. So what's going on here? I don't know what just happened, man. But we doing pretty good, man. We got let me see, we got 79 people on the YouTubes. We got 65 in the Twitterverse. So we doing all right, man. We doing all right. You're welcome, Jason. Let me see. Oh, how did I get on this subject, man? I was talking about last month or 2 months ago, whenever it was, all of that talk about Jalen Hurts' personality is done. You haven't really heard much about it anymore. And nobody cares about it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that just proves all of that stuff, sources and all of that kind of stuff, sources close to the situation. And, nobody knew anything. Everybody was making the shit up. Everybody was making it up. Wasn't nothing wrong with Jalen's personality, because now we 2 weeks out, that ain't an issue no more. So, I just thought that was funny. Did anybody see the video from who was somebody's brother? I think it was Jalen Hurts' brother. got him working out, and he was doing one-step bounds. So I was like, that knee is healthy. That knee is definitely 100% healthy. So I was like, he looks good, and I am very interested to see what him and Kellen Moore whip up together. That's what I want to see, because our offense is just fine. Our offense is just fine. The question mark, the X factor, is what is Kellen Moore going to do with those pieces on the board? That's what I want to see. Now, I did a little homework. So Kellen Moore was with the Dallas Cowboys from 2019 to 2022, right? 2019 Cowboys, Dak Prescott had 4,900 passing yards, 4,902 to be exact, with 597 attempts. They were slinging that ball. But here's the good thing. They also had 449 rushes for 2,153 yards. That's what I'm talking about being balanced. You're talking about 597 to 449 pass to run ratio. That is awesome. That is awesome. You had almost 5,000 yards passing, 4,900 yards passing to 2,100 yards rushing. That is excellent balance. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see from Kellen Moore. So that's 2019. You go to 2020, then it drops down a little bit. They had 3,911 yards passing on 556 attempts. Hold on. That's not right. That's 22. 2019, 2020. 2020, Dak Prescott got hurt. That's what that was. So 19, 21. I think 21 he got hurt again. And then 22, he had another good year. 2021, he had 4,400 yards. Dallas threw for 4,400 yards, so still not bad. 2022, our Super Bowl run, that's when that's the Cooper Rush year. Cooper Rush started 5 games. But overall, we threw for 3,911 yards with 556 passes. And now this pass run ratio is even better. 556 passes to 531 runs. That is outstanding balance. Outstanding. And if Dak Prescott would have had those 5 games that he missed, he probably would have been right around 45 to 4,600 yards passing. So the balance, that balance is phenomenal in 22. In 23 with the Chargers, 4,312 yards passing. What else do I got? So 4,312 yards passing to 1,642 yards rushing. I don't have the for some reason I don't have how many passing attempts they had that year. Let me see if I can get that from NFL.com. But like what I was trying to the balance is what I need, man. With Saquon in here and Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and that murderer's row of skill positions we got on offense, we have got to be a balanced offense. We have to be a balanced offense. So let's go to 2023 passing team stats. Let me get y'all involved in this. Passing yards, Cowboys, blah, 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 blah. Chargers, they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th in the league in passing, 4,300 yards, 4,312, 632 attempts. So you've got 2023. So, all right, that's a little bit more pass heavy. You got 632 passes to 431 rushes. So I would like I would like to keep the rushes up in the 500 level, if possible, especially if you're going to be above 600 throwing the ball. But it is what it is. But you also got to remember, Austin Eckler, they were throwing the ball to him, like legit throwing the ball to him. So hopefully Kellen Moore is going to bring that to the Eagles, and we can get the ball to the running backs like we should do. It still pisses me off that we had Kenny Gainwell when it was Gainwell and Sanders, and they didn't throw the ball to the running backs. Then we had DeAndre Swift, much better receiver than Gainwell or Sanders, and they still didn't throw the ball to the running back. Now we got Saquon Barkley, as good, if not better, than DeAndre Swift in catching the ball, and probably a little bit better inside runner because he's just a bigger body. Same explosiveness, in my opinion. So we have to get the ball to the running back, man. We got to get the screen game in effect. We got the perfect pieces. We wasted one last year, and I'm hoping that he's just not dumb enough to do that again. Like, I don't want to go through this again. Bubble screens and all that kind of nonsense. I don't want to do that, man. Don't want to do that. Man, I'm killing me with this. I don't know what I was thinking. Without my water. But yeah, man. Twitterverse is active, man. Let's see here. We got they got to keep that even. We got to have a good balance with that. You know what I mean? I like that 2019 year, 597 to 449. To me, that's realistic. You know what I'm saying? That's realistic, and I like that. So let's hope that we can count on Kellen Moore's track record to kind of dictate what he's going to do. And I'm okay with that. So, yeah, man, let's, we got to be able to do that, man. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I think our defense will be fine. So yeah, that's what I want to see, man. So the clock, it's on Kellen Moore. It's on Kellen Moore right now. He's the biggest X factor for the Eagles right now. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Let me see. What am I doing? Yep, hold on. So what else? I'm looking at, going through my notes here. Oh, did y'all hear? Did you see what Chris Canty said about he gave his top 10 quarterbacks in the league? And of course, everybody's gonna go nuts because Jalen Hurts is not on there. Chris Canty, and let me preface this by saying I love Chris Canty. If you don't watch Unsportsmanlike in the morning on ESPN2, I think it is, it's him, Michelle Smallman, and I forget what the other guy's name is, but it's only three of them on a small set, but I just like it. Chris Canty is very matter of fact. They don't get too much into the hoopla. They usually just, spouting facts, and I think it's a good show. It's better than, and I'm a big fan of Good Morning Football, but I'm finding myself watching Unsportsmanlike a lot more than Good Morning Football. So, but yeah, here was Chris Canty's top 10 quarterbacks going into 2024. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy. Those were his top 10. And then, of course, Kim Martin and what's the other guy on there? He was a receiver. I forget what his name is. But they were kind of chiming in like, you don't have Jalen Hurts on there? And he was like, not on my list. And I'm like, that's okay. If Jalen Hurts is not your top 10 right now, that's okay. No love lost. It's all good because it doesn't matter. My top 10, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Joey Burrow, Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud, and Jordan Love. And I would probably flip-flop Hurts and Burrow. I could probably flip-flop them. Matter of fact, I would probably move Burrow to the back of the line because he was hurt all last year. I know he's a good receiver. I mean, a good receiver. Lord have mercy. I know he's a good quarterback, but he was hurt last year. So he didn't do much of anything. So I got to put him on the bottom of the list. And I don't understand why people are discounting Jalen Hurts because we had a bad last 5 games. I get it. But, you know, you just can't. Half the games we lost was because of the defense. Couldn't stop nobody. We should have won that Seattle game. We should have won the Giants game. We couldn't. It was, you know, it is what it is. So they're going to have their opinions, and they're welcome to it. So this part of the game right now, for the next, until the draft hits, you give me your top 10 quarterbacks, and the answer is you're right. Whatever you think, whoever you got as your top 10 or top 5 or top 3 or whatever, there's no wrong answers. People argue about that crap. And it's like, it doesn't matter. That's just for the shows and people want to get mad at it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Who's your favorite quarterback? Who's the top quarterbacks in your opinion? Yes, that's the answer. Whatever you say. Because my logic is, whatever you think it is, your guy and my guy are going to meet at Lincoln Financial or wherever you live. And they're going to settle it on the field. So it doesn't matter what the power rankings and all of that kind of stuff say. It doesn't. That's irrelevant. Put Josh Allen and Herbert so high they don't do anything. You're not wrong, but if you're looking at good quarterbacks, and with Herbert, for the same, I look at Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is just good. All right, let's not get carried away. Josh Allen is damn good. But you're right, they haven't done anything. That's why if you're in the top 10, you're in the top 10. I don't care where you live on that list. I can understand why somebody putting Dak. Are they looking at how far they've taken their team? Are they looking at his stats? Are they all of that kind of stuff? And again, it's whatever you want it to be. I'm not gonna get mad at that. I might argue with you or a couple places, or I think Jalen Hurts should be on the list. But if he's not on your list, so be it. If you want to stick Brock Purdy in there, so be it. Chris, I believe you're 100% right. Josh Allen is a turnover machine, but he can also win games for you. So you take the good with the bad, you take the cannon, you take the arm, the running ability, and all of that kind of stuff, and you mix it up all together. Because if you put everything together, the good with the bad, why is Josh Allen any worse than Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson puts the ball on the ground. Lamar Jackson is dynamic when he runs the ball. He can still put the ball on a rope, on a dime, drop it where it needs to be. So, as good as Jalen Hurts was when we went to the Super Bowl, what did he do in the biggest game? Fumbled the ball. This past season when we went down to Dallas, what did he do? Fumbled the ball. So everybody gets a turn in those things. I don't know why you had Brock Purdy above Jalen Hurts, but hey, if that's what you want to do, Chris Canty, that's your opinion. That is your prerogative. I do not get hung up on the lists this far in the off season. It doesn't matter right now. They ain't even had the draft yet. So I don't get too caught up into that. It's funny because all of this stuff is going to change. And I like how he prefaced it by saying, he said, this is my top 10 right now. And that's the out. That's the caveat, right? So when somebody brings up the receipts, they can say, well, you heard me say right now, meaning as this was my list today. That can change based on what happened. And I get it. And he's right. And that's why they put that little disclaimer in there at the end of it. Just in case you're proven wrong, you can always say, well, I said it was just for today. and it could change at any time. They always want to put that little disclaimer at the end of stuff like that because they know it is going to change. And all of that stuff they spouting off is just for the sake of the show. It don't really mean nothing. Don't really mean the thing, man. So, but we are getting into that territory now. So we are getting into that territory. So, T-Law top 10, not Hurts. I don't know. I like Trevor Lawrence. He ain't in my top 10 because somebody made a good point on the show I was watching. The Jaguars, they talking about the Eagles fell apart. The Jaguars were 8-3 and didn't make the playoffs. So they had a collapse too. So yeah, I mean, but again, that's your prerogative. Opinions are like assholes and elbows. Everybody got one. There you go. There you have it. So you can have your opinion. At the end of the day, we are going to have it out, hash it out, and we're going to see each other on the field and get them questions answered. I'm not worried about what somebody's list says. That's irrelevant to me. Makes no difference whatsoever, man. So, too early for that kind of talk. It was way too early, man. So, but I wanted to try something, and I want to see how this looks. So, that's the combine tapes. Let's go get out of there. All right. Y'all want to try to do this with me real quick? We can get a couple of them in. So, I'm going to let the computer do the first one. This is just a mock draft. This is the NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. That's a mouthful. NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. Okay. So I'm going to let the computer do the first one just because I want to see it. And we'll do select none. And, well, no, I'm going to do Philadelphia 24. We'll do the first 5 rounds. Normal. We'll do it fast. And standard in a draft room. All right, there we go. And I'm going to click on the auto draft and see what we get. Start. There we go. And of course, Caleb Williams is first out off the. And our first pick is Kool-Aid McKinstry. Okay. Junior Colson, linebacker from Michigan. Was Edgerrin Cooper off the board already at 50? Or did we trade a pick? Oh, no, we get cool. Well, I did this before I got on the stream, and I got Edgerrin Cooper twice. So let's see what we get. Kool-Aid, Junior Colson, Braylon Trice. Like, really? Like, we need another edge rusher? That's the computer not being aware of the situation. How come they ain't put all of this AI stuff on the mock draft yet? Sion Vaki, Jacob Cowing, Jaden Hicks. Yeah, I'm not digging this draft. Not digging this draft at all, man. I do like Kool-Aid McKinstry. I do like Junior Colson. Everybody else doesn't make Jaden Hicks. Okay, we do need a safety. But why are you gonna draft a cornerback? I'm okay because we addressed linebacker. We got 2 DBs. We got a safety and a cornerback, which we need. Do we need another wide receiver? Inside offensive line, so we got a guard, inside, outside, and a safety from Utah. So we got 2 safeties, a linebacker, a cornerback, an edge rusher, and a wide receiver. So yeah, let's run that again. I want to run that again. All right, let me see. Damn, man, these we're running fast, free for all. And we're gonna go Philadelphia again. This time we're gonna pick. Let me see. in the draft room. This time we're going to stop it and pick it. See if we can think this thing through. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Dallas Turner. We're still at 22. All right, we got that's way too many DBs, Cody. The Lions are offering us a trade. They want our 22nd pick, and we drop down 7 spots, and we get their 29th pick, the second round pick, and 2 picks in 2025, 2 fourth-round picks in 2025. What do you guys think? Put a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or just give me a yes or no in the chat if you think I should accept this deal, or should I make the pick at 22? What you think Howie's going to do? Let it go. Chris says let it go. Jason says let it go. That's a big fat nope. Anybody else? Who else? Who's BPA? BPA, I don't know what BPA is. What is BPA, Cody? Let it go. All right. We're going to reject that deal. Cowboys want to trade. They want to swap spots. 2 spots in the first round, a 2025 4th-round pick, a 3rd round, a 5th, and a 6th. So we only drop 2 spots. Got you. Best player available. I got you. So what do you think? What do you think? The Cowboys have got an offer up. We only drop 2 spots, and we get all of these picks. They're giving us 3 picks in this draft and a pick next year. Let's just pick our player. Let's reject it. Washington. Damn, Green Bay. They throwing money at us, man. Let's get out of this. All right, so best player available. I'm looking at also 22. So you got Cooper DeJean, you got J.C. Latham, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Tyler Guyton, Ad Mitchell is a Ad Mitchell and Xavier Worth. No, we can't do that. Lad McConkey. Can't. What you think, McKinstry? I'm gonna go McKinstry. Let's see what they get next. Our next pick is at 50. Another trade offer. Buffalo. Nope, I don't want Buffalo. All right, at 50, we got Edgerrin Cooper. I'm getting Edgerrin Cooper, dude. Edgerrin Cooper or Peyton Willis. They're the 2 best linebackers in the draft. I'm going Edge Cooper. Junior Colson. I'm going Edge Cooper. I'm gonna go Edge Cooper. I like that one. Have true date? Reject. Oh, we got a 53. Oh. Edge, Braylon Trice Jr. All right, we're at 3rd. Cornerback and linebacker. Anybody else got any ideas? I got Edgerrin Cooper. Now we're at 53. And we got Braylon Trice. I think on our 3rd pick, Howie would probably go for offensive lineman. That's what I'm thinking. Getting this guy from Kansas State. D-line, safety, Cameron Kitchens. You know what? I'm going to pick the O-lineman. I'm going to pick Cooper Beebe. We don't need another tight end. We got Albert O, dude. I'm a big fan of Albert O, Jason. Let's see. All right, we got another trade offer from Buffalo. I'm not taking no trade offers, man. Let's just look it through. We'll be thinking all day. All right. Jalen McMillan, wide receiver from Washington. Austin Booker, edge rusher. from Kansas. Christian Mahogany, inside offensive line. Cedric Gray, linebacker. Audric Estime. No, we're not going to draft a running back. Ben Sinot, tight end from Kansas State. Running back? We just picked up a that free agent running back. What's his name? Tyrion, wide receiver. Cody, you want to go wide receiver? Javon Baker from UCF. All right. Insurance policy. All right, we got him. That's a B plus. That's a B plus pick, according to this mock draft. I tell you what, if these teams are as active as this damn computer is, how are we gonna have about 80 picks by the end of this draft, man? Good Lord. All right, we inside offensive line, linebacker, cornerback, wide receiver. Up here, if you see, like up here, it'll tell you what the need is. So, defensive line, Mason McCormick, another safety, Sion Vaki, and another wide receiver. I'm thinking, should we go defensive line? We don't need a defensive lineman. We got Ojomo, we got Milt Williams, we got Josh Sweat is coming back, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. I think we'll be all right. I will go Sion Vaki. I want the safety. I'm with you, Jason. I want the safety. That's an A+ grade right there. Reject. Good Lord, man. Everybody and their mama trying to trade. It's funny how the computer always wants to trade you. It's our pick already. 171. All right, this is gonna be the last pick. What do we need? Safety, linebacker, wide receiver. Best available, edge, Mohamed Kamara. Cornerback. Josh Newton, it is, TCU. Nah, we had bad luck with getting people from TCU. Let's go Elijah Jones from Boston College. Yeah, man. It's these mock drafts are funny, dude. They're funny. You never know what the algorithm is trying to. How do they figure out what all these other teams want? That's always funny to me. So, yeah, this is funny. Moving on up, man. And 91. There we go. Yeah, Cody is funny, man. But I tell you what, let me see something. I want to do this again. And I'm not going to trade anything, but what I want to see is if the computer, how long does Edger and Cooper hang around? That's what I want to see. This is where this gets interesting for me. How long will the system keep Edger and Cooper around? Or because listen, the mock draft that I've run, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is going to be available if we want him. But I think he's going to fall to like the second round. So let's try again. Now, all right, before I start, who do we want? Who do we want at 22? And then we'll go from there because we'll see if they're available and all that kind of stuff. So who do you guys think we should get at 22? If you in the Twitterverse, chime in, put it in the chat. I iPad up on Twitter so I can see what you chat. But give me your draft picks. Give me your draft picks. I want to see what we're looking at. So I think Junior Trotter falls to his late second. I agree. Mitchell, the cornerback. Jason, what are you thinking about for our first pick at 22? Who do you think it should be? Tackle at 22? Mitchell, the cornerback at 22, Cody? Quentin? Let's see what we got. Let's get it started. Let's see who we get at 22. No trades. So you want to get JJ McCarthy? The offensive tackle Mims. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Cornerback. That's the question. Wiggins. I don't see Wiggins available. Penix Jr. Nah, he's gone. Yeah, they're gone. So let's go offensive tackle for number 22. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the big old tackle from Georgia. Another Georgia boy. And we're going to hang tight till 50. And no trades. What I tell you, Edge Cooper, you want to see if let's see how long, because Edge Cooper and Peyton Wilson, we can live with that. Either one of them two. But they're the best available on the board right now. So I'm going to go Edge Cooper. So we're going to draft Edge Cooper. You want to swap with Dallas? Dallas wants to swap 3 spots. We'll take their 56 picks so they get our 53rd pick. But guess what? I ain't giving Dallas nothing. So no. Guess what? But I can see if somebody wants to move up 2 spots for that pick and they want to give up an additional 2 picks, it would not surprise me if Howard took that deal. So I can see Howie Roseman doing that. So, all right. We're at 53. So I'm looking at offensive tackle. Jatavion Sanders, the tight end. We don't need another tight end, though, man. We don't. We do not. Let's see. Wide receiver from Western Kentucky, D-line, edge, safety, cornerback. We're kind of reaching on that one, man. The best available, Bo Nix. We're not going to draft a quarterback. We're not going to draft another linebacker. We're not going to draft another edge because now we get. I think this would be this. If this was the case, I think Howie would trade this pick because there's nothing that we need right now that we can't get later. Let's go. They got a lot of D-line and skill positions. I'm going to go Cooper BB. I'm going to get another offensive lineman. And then we good until 120. So who's next? Cornerback? We're coming up. Edge Cooper BB, 120, Johnny Wilson, cornerback. Javon Baker. We got him last time. Johnny Wilson. Is Johnny Wilson that big 6'7" dude from Florida State? Makai Wingo. Goncalves. Goncalves. Roger Rosengarten. I don't even know, man. You know what? Let's take Johnny Wilson. I think that is that big 6'7" dude from Florida State. Yeah, I got to do some more homework on this one. 161. McKinney Jackson, Kalen King, Sion Vaki. I'm gonna get the safety. Kalen King, another Penn State guy. Should we get somebody at safety? Because Sidney Brown's going to come back eventually. But are you bolstering the ranks? Do we need another quarterback? Kalen King's in there. Should we go safety or cornerback? I think I'm going to go cornerback with Kalen King. If all of this is available, Howie Roseman's going to have a damn field day. He is. He is going to have a field day. So we get another addition to Jeff Stoutland University. Jaheim Bell. All right, let's make a decision. You guys want to go? Let's go with the safety. Bolster the D line. And what do we get for 210? Oh, what are we looking at? Miles Coles. Yeah, Howie's the Wizard of Philadelphia, man. This is what he does best. I ain't mad at him either. Isaac Garendo is available. Isaac Garendo is a running back out of Louisville. He is 5'11", 221, and he ran a 4.33 at the combine. For somebody that size, that is blazing. That is super fast. And when I went back and I watched his tape, I wasn't impressed. I ain't gonna lie. He wasn't like explosive. He was fast, but he wasn't putting moves on folks. He was trying to run you over. He is a hard-nosed downhill runner. He's not gonna try to fake you. He's got enough speed where he can run past you, but like he's not. He ain't gonna shake you down and spin on you. He's just gonna try to take an angle to the outside and outrun you, and he could probably do that. So, you know what? I'm gonna snatch him. I'm gonna snatch Garendo because you're talking about 5'11", 220, and he's a physical guy. He transferred from Wisconsin, I believe, and played his 6th year as a 6-year senior at Louisville. So he my guy Devin Leary still on the board. Yeah, I'm gonna go Garendo. We're gonna do Garendo. We need some pass blocking running backs in there. So, all right, this part is done. This one is done. I'm gonna have to find me a better one. I'm not crazy about the way this looks. So maybe I'll find a better one that's with more graphics and stuff like that. Cody K, you 100%, man. Gainwell and Boston Scott are not going to be here forever. Not going to be here forever. And there's a good chance that they might not make it to the draft or make it past the draft. You know what I'm saying? It's too many things that can happen, dude. Way too many things that can happen. So I hope they stay around, but you know, we got 4 running backs. I don't think they re-signed Rashad Penny. I haven't even heard his name mentioned, so I don't know what his situation is, but I know Boston Scott and Gainwell are still around. Boston Scott ain't going nowhere until you tell him to. So either cut him or keep him. but I still think he's a good returner. It's weird with Boston Scott. If you want to throw the moniker on him that he's the giant killer and all of that kind of stuff, that means you can use him in other situations, not just when we play the Giants. But they got on that kick and believe in the hype, man. So, but that's got to suck, man. And I feel bad for Rashad Penny because they basically wasted a year. They basically wasted a year of his life on the sidelines. He returned 2 kicks. That was it. I think he touched the ball 6 times for the year. And that might be including the kickoff returns. So, yeah, he gone. He probably gone. Pro Football Reference Sims good. I had to check that out. Pro Football Reference. Football Reference. Stat Heads, Pro Football Reference. Draft. Draft Combine. Bop, 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 bop. I don't see how do you get to the mock draft though? Did I miss it? Draft index, franchise history. A lot of these, a lot of information, man. I see it, but I don't see how do you get to the mock draft? By year, scores, Cardinal, Combine. I don't know. I don't know how we do it. Chris, I hope we get Cooper too. I like Cooper better than I like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. strictly for the size. Edge Cooper is big. He's 6'3", 230. He's fast. So the only thing better than being fast is being fast and big. So I will take his size over Edge Cooper. I mean, over Trotter Jr. So we have to stay abreast to see what's going to happen with that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking for another draft machine. So we'll see what happens with that. What were your thoughts on Justin Fields? I just tweeted. I said the way Chicago treated Justin Fields was akin to your 4-year-old cooking breakfast for you. You had a spam and onion and banana with peanut butter and jelly beans with black licorice omelet. It was just a whole bunch of shit. And you wasn't eating it. I feel bad for Justin Fields, man, with what he had to go through. I'm happy that he went to Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin can coach him up and he can learn behind Russ. And we don't know if Russ is going to get it together. We don't know if Russ is going to be just as bad as he was in Denver. But for some reason, I got to think that Russ has a chip on his shoulder, a big one. So as long as he stays healthy, I think Russ is going to do some damage in Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be mad one bit that they got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields because Justin Fields can ball. I just think he, I talked earlier this afternoon about being at the right place at the right time with the right people. And Justin Fields was the exact opposite. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people because them coaches didn't know what the hell they were doing. The front office was getting rid of your best players. They didn't even bother you to get any help. And now that they decided to trade you because they're going to draft the next new thing, now they want to load up all of these pieces. I would be like, well, why couldn't you do this when I was here? I'd be feeling some kind of way too. But I think he's in a good spot. I think Mike Tomlin can coach him up. And I think Russell Wilson will take I think Russell Wilson can get Pittsburgh back to the playoffs. Absolutely. Absolutely. So um, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but that will be the biggest. That will be a big draw now because now, like all my homies that are Pittsburgh fans, they're gonna be watching. There'll be a lot of Pittsburgh games on national TV this season because you know that season schedule changes on who's hot. So you know the Eagles are going to be on because now we got Kellen Moore and Saquon Barkley. So they're going to see what we want to do or see what we can do now that Jason Kelsey's gone. I don't think that's going to be a problem. People on the outside looking in, they don't understand how good Cam Jurgens is. Not could be, is. I am very high on Cam Jurgens. I think we won't miss a beat that now that Jason Kelsey has retired. I am quite positive that with the combination of Jason Kelsey and Jeff Stoutland, they have taught him well. Beef Jurgens is ready to go. He could have started last year, in my opinion. But I'm of the opinion that he'll get in there and we won't miss a bit. We won't miss a beat at all. We're going to miss Jason Kelsey in the locker room, not on the field. Kelsey's got this. Or not, I'm sorry, not Kelsey. I keep mixing. Cam Jurgens has got it. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. That dude's ready to play. He was plug and play last year. He just didn't get really the opportunity. And Jason Kelsey just, damn it, he don't get hurt. So he never really had to fill in. But yeah, Cam Jurgens is ready to rock and roll. So he is the least of my worries. Our big question mark is, what are the Eagles going to do on defense? Who else could we possibly bring in? Just looking at the draft sim, the mock draft, what are we still looking at as our area of need? Obviously, the secondary and linebackers. We good everywhere else. Secondary and linebackers is where we need to be. So I want to see where Howie's heads is at. I'm surprised that we haven't had any of the radio stations or interviews and stuff like that ask him that question. He's not going to answer, by the way, but just to get you the juices flowing, get your thought process going, and trying to figure out what you want to do. Are you going to? I'll tell you what, man. If we get offers like this damn computer offer, how are we going to end up with like 30-something picks by the end of the day? Because you know that's all he does is wheel and deal, man. That's what he does best. So, you know, how he talk your talk, bro. Talk your talk. So we got some things that could still happen. We're in a good spot. You know what? I don't even feel like doing bracketology tonight. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, man. Good stuff. Pro Football Network has a simulator. Jason, I'm gonna have to try that one. Pro Football Network. I think that's the one I was at. Pro Football Network. I had done this before. NFL. Where's it at? More. No thanks. Fantasy. Where's it at, Jason? Fantasy News Tracker, Mock Draft Simulator. I think I was on this page before. Verify. Oh, I was not. I like this one. I remember this one from last year. Let's do 4 rounds. Lightning fast. Enter draft. And let's see what they give us. This should be fun. Let me switch up. Let me get you into this. There we go. There we go now. All right. What we got? What do the Eagles look like at 22? We took Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson. Okay. Can we see? We can only see the one page. Full mock draft results. I guess we only did the one. Let me try that again. Restart. Resend. 4 rounds. Enter draft. Do you only see the first round? I don't get it. Maybe I missed something. Round two. Well, no, it's going through all of the rounds. How come it didn't show us all? All right, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Oh, you got to select team. Gotcha. Yeah, I like the way this looks. This is a little bit easier to understand. Pause draft trade offer. Okay. Does this? Yes, we get that. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, here we go. First round, second round. Oh, got you. Okay. So Byron Murphy, defensive tackle. Hell no. Caleb Kenyon Mitchell goes to the Colts. Mims, Amarius Mims. Chop Robinson lasted to 18. We almost got him. Yo, if Chop Robinson is available, we might have to, for whatever reason, we might have to make that. All right, let me hold on. All right, Jason, hold on. Select the team. Gotcha. Okay. So that we go fast. Got you. There we go. Pick, accept, reject, and Chop Robinson is available. Do we draft Chop Robinson or do we get Nate Wiggins? We got to draft Nate Wiggins because we are. There's a good chance that we might re-sign Hassan Reddick, and we just got Huff. So why do we need Chop Robinson? Even though Chop Robinson is going to be a beast, man. Wait and see. But we're gonna select Nate Wiggins. So we took that, and we rejected. Dallas wants our 50s. Nope. And offense, team needs defense. Edge Cooper, got him. Cornerback, Cameron Kinchins. Safety. You know what? I want that safety. Jason, I like this one, man. I like this much better than the other one. I might have to bookmark this. All right, we're sitting at the 120th pick, and Mason Smith, Jonah Ellis. I wonder if that's Christian Ellis's. Huh. I have to look that up. Makai Wingo, Jalen Ford, Malik Mustafa, Tyler Davis. Who are you thinking? If you forget, who we looking at? Linebackers, safeties, edge. We'll go Mason Smith. I don't at this point, when you're this late, now I'm in round 5. We get who we get. Jordan Jefferson, Keith Randolph Jr., Christian Boyd, Jawan Briggs, Logan Lee, Jamry Chroma. That's like Key and Peele names. Yeah, man, I was just I took a DT. Yeah, man, I like this. All right, I'm gonna look some more into that and play with this a little bit more. That was fun though. But if not for nothing else, it's nice to think that there is a possibility that Edge Cooper could last to our third pick. That it's possible. It's possible. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. Hopefully. But we got a long way to go. I know a lot of schools had their pro day today. I got to check with my buddy Glenn, his son, Devin Leary. I know he was supposed to have a pro day. I don't know if he was going to run, if he's going to work out up here, if he's still in Kentucky. I don't know what his situation is. I got to call him and ask. Because he's probably going to get drafted late, or he will sign as a free agent somewhere. He had a very good combine. Talked about him a little bit on the telecast, so that was fun to see. Are people clap kabash? Are people psyched to have Saquon? Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. The question with Saquon is, what is Kellen Moore going to do with him? So, but the answer to your question is a resounding yes. We have arguably the best running back in our division. A lot of people, myself included, think that they want to go after Saquon like San Fran did with McCaffrey. Now, he might not be as good as McCaffrey is at this point, but they were the same type of runner. They had the same type of hype behind them. And if you remember, when McCaffrey came from Carolina, he was coming off of 2 bad injuries. So he was getting the label as injury prone. So he was looking for a new start. And he just made the most of his situation. So why? That's a good question. I just think that it's nice to have that type of running back in your arsenal. Me being a running back myself, I am biased. I was biased with Miles Sanders. I like Miles Sanders. I like DeAndre Swift even more, and I like Saquon Barkley even more than that. Saquon Barkley is the full package. You got size, you got speed, you got explosiveness, and you got somebody that can catch the ball out of the backfield. What else do you need? And he's on grass. Take Saquon off the turf. We got grass down here in Philly, so he's in a good spot. 100%, Jason. He is a game changer if you use him correctly. And I trust that Kellen Moore will do that. Kellen's Moore track record tells me that he likes to run the ball, and he likes to run a balanced offense. Some years more than others, with a little bit more pass heavy than run, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If I go back and look at the passing stats, let's look at the rushing stats for the Eagles. I'm at NFL.com right now. So what were the Eagles' rushing stats? Even though we got a 1,000-yard rusher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We ended up 8th in the league in rushing. 510 attempts with 2,190 yards. That's not bad. So the Eagles, we had, what was that? What did I just say? 510 rushes. And how many passes did we have? So let's look at what this is. Passing. How many pass attempts did we have? Eagles. 500. Hold on. Oof. 563. Oops. 563. So that's not bad. So we had 563 passes to 510 rushes. The fact that we got them both in the 500 range. So you got a 53 snap difference, pass to rush. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, DeAndre Swift was our leading rusher. DeAndre Swift had over 1,000 yards. So no. I was screaming for years for the Giants to give him a fullback, but they never did. Nah, man. Listen. Let me be the first to tell you, as a former running back in the NFL, my position is extinct. There are no like true running backs left anymore. Everybody wants a hybrid. Even Saquon, CMC, Austin Eckler, everybody, they got to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. There are no more. If you want a fullback, that means you want a tight end, because they'll put a tight end in motion or shift them back to where the fullback is. The running back as it was as I came up is extinct. So you got to be a hybrid. You got to be a running back / slot, or you have to be a tight end / fullback. There's no more I'm drafting the fullback. They don't do that no more. So yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine, but ain't nothing I can do about it. Not a thing. So again, I just hope Kellen Moore can do it. That's not. I just saw a question I was trying to read. MA, do you have doubts about Jalen being the guy? None whatsoever. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. None. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts at all. All of those reports that you heard about personality issues were made up. They were all made up. The minute Britton Covey came out and said that all of that stuff was BS, you never heard another report about it. Everything stopped at that moment. So whoever the source was close to the locker room was full of crap. And always was. Can you imagine Fletcher Cox going up to Jalen talking about, I don't like the way your personality is? Even the way that was described didn't make sense to me. I was calling BS from day one. That was like serious cap. And it was a shame, because it just created more turmoil that didn't need to exist. So I understand why A.J. Brown stopped talking to the media, because they was crazy. They was making crap up. When they don't get those stories, they don't know what to do. But, MA, to answer your question, there is nothing wrong with Jalen Hurts. The same thing he did in 22 to get us to the Super Bowl was the same stuff he was doing last year. And all of a sudden, everybody got a problem with it. That's nonsense. It don't work that way in the locker room. If there was somebody in the locker room, I'm telling you this, if there was somebody in the locker room that was feeding information to the press, if word got out who that person was, and he was a player, they would label him a snitch, and wouldn't nobody deal with him no more. Nobody. They would have left him to the curb, and it would have been one of those situations where the team would have got rid of him. Remember what they did to Riley Cooper when he said that dumb crap at the concert, trying to be cool? You're going to learn today, the FAFO squad is in effect. F around and find out. There is nothing wrong with Jalen Hurts' ability to lead, his conversation in the locker room, the way he treats the other players, his teammates. There is absolutely zero wrong with Jalen Hurts. Leave him alone. You do not want the leader of your team trying to be something he is not. And that's how I knew that whatever reports that was coming out was strictly BS. Was all cap. Whoever's steering your ship, you want them to be true to themselves. If you're not a rah-rah guy, don't act like you a rah-rah guy, because it comes off as fake. There's plenty of other personalities in that locker room that can fill that void. Brandon Graham is a rah-rah guy. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a rah-rah guy. Very loud, always got something to say, always yapping in the other team's face. That's what you need. And you also need somebody that's quiet. You need somebody like Jalen Hurts. You need somebody like who's quiet on defense. Jordan Davis is quiet, but he's not a leader though. It's hard to say. Reed Blankenship really don't talk too much. So you need a mixture of those personalities to gel together, and there's usually one personality, and all those different personalities, each one of them will be a leader. The leaders will show up. The leaders will show up. You worried about who's going to fill the void for Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey. The cream will rise to the top. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about it. The cream will rise to the top. So that'll get handled. I'm not even worried about that. Our NFL team's blind to how mid Kirk Cousins is. Apparently so, because somebody gonna have to start a GoFundMe to help pay all this money that this man is getting. This man has made over $400 million in his career, and has only won one playoff game. Explain that to me. And Justin Fields got to go through the crap that he went through. It doesn't make the math ain't mathing. It don't make sense, dude. So I'm with you, Clack. I'm with you. It doesn't make sense to me. Sources, yeah. Was Willie T the silent leader? The leaders when I played, T was a leader, but the de facto leaders on defense was Seth, Clyde, and Byron Evans. Well, no, I take that back. Seth, Clyde, Eric Allen. Those were the leaders on defense. And then, of course, Randall, Brian Baldinger, Fred Barnett. Those were the leaders. And also Herschel Walker. So Willie T was my best friend, man. Still is to this day. I got to get him back on the show. But yeah, T really didn't say too much. T definitely wasn't a rah-rah guy. We didn't have too many of them dudes. Andre Waters just liked to talk. But I'm trying to. We had Rich Miano back there. He didn't talk much. Shit, that year we had Mark Bavaro, and Mark Bavaro didn't say nothing to nobody. Don't get me wrong, Mark Bavaro was cool as hell. But he just wasn't, he was just a quiet dude that kept to himself. Went out and practiced, went about his business, and that was it. He wasn't really, he wasn't really out there like that. Nah, Cody K. I like the midnight greens. I appreciate the Kelly Green jerseys, but I like the midnight greens better. But the I ain't gonna lie, the Kelly Green variations was tight though. Clap Kabash, I did not play with Ricky Waters. He was after I left the Eagles. Greg Jackson wasn't throwing around chalkboards. I'm trying to think, like, we didn't. The loudest guy on our team was probably the Fridge. And it's amazing all them guys I played with, man. I played with Mark Duper, the Fridge, Clyde Simmons, Andy Harmon, Byron Evans, Seth Joyner, William Thomas, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Eric Allen, Mark McMillan, Eric McMillan, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Herschel Walker, James Joseph, Heath Sherman, Vaughn Hebron, Randall Cunningham, Brian Baldinger, Mo Williams, and James Lofton. That's who I was trying to remember. We signed James Lofton because James Lofton needed a couple catches to break some type of NFL record. And he got it with Philadelphia. So, yes, I played with Hall of Famer James Lofton. A lot of guys. Keith Millard was on our team that year. Most of his more productive days were with Minnesota. Just a lot of good guys, man. A lot of good guys. That was good. a good time. And I know I got some tape. I got a tape somewhere where we went down we played Dallas. And I got a tape because I was that rookie in the locker room filming everything. But I don't know. That thing might be lost to time. It was one of those mini tapes. William Fuller, yes. William Fuller was on the team. Tim Harris. Remember Tim Harris from San Francisco? Tim Harris was that guy that was getting in trouble for DUIs before that became a thing with the NFL. Tim Harris. I sat with Tim Harris when we scrimmaged the New York Jets. I was sitting at breakfast with Tim Harris, and then after breakfast, we went and just sat in the bar and was just talking. And he meets this guy. This guy looked like something from episode of Law and Order. This guy in a suit with a suitcase full of fake Rolex watches. It was the craziest shit, dude. And he ended up buying a couple of the watches, man, for like $200-$300. It was hilarious. I'll never forget that, man. Ken O'Brien. Yep. Yes, he was. Ken O'Brien. Because that was the year Randall got hurt. And then Bubby Brister came in. So we had Bubby Brister. Bubby Brister didn't know the playbook yet. And it was Bubby Brister and Casey Weldon was the third quarterback. Casey Weldon was a rookie from Florida State. And then Bubby got hurt. And then we signed Ken O'Brien. And then Ken O'Brien wasn't there long enough to learn the offense. So it was just bad juju, man. It was crazy. But yeah, Ken was there. I remember Ken. No Big Dom back then. Nah. No Big Dom. That's funny. That's funny. So yeah, man. We had fun back then, man. So we kicked it around and we did it. If Randall hadn't gotten hurt, Rodney Hampton and Charles Way. Know of them, but didn't play with them. Rodney Hampton he was with the Giants or Buffalo, right? I know the name Rodney Hampton. I know both of them. I know both of them played. Yeah, I think they were for the Giants, but I did not know them. The only Giants I knew were Chad Bradsky, because he went to Eastern Kentucky. And Myron Guyton, because he went to Eastern Kentucky. Trying to think, was there anybody else on the Giants that I was friends with? Not that I can think of. I know there's somebody else. I know I met Keith and became friends with Keith Elias later. After we stopped playing, I met him in different places and stuff like that. But yeah, Myron's been on my show before. I might have to get him on again. That's all I can think of, man. Kenny Rose was our special teams captain. Kenny, tell you about Kenny Rose. Kenny Rose, first of all, we used to call Kenny Rose the master because he was all in the martial arts and stuff back then. Before like MMA got popular, Kenny Rose was doing it. Kenny Rose had a martial arts school. Kenny Rose was on back in the 80s. There was an HBO show. O.J. Simpson was on this called I think it was called First and 10. And OJ was on it. Kenny Rose was on it. And great story about Kenny Rose. Great story about Kenny Rose. Because Kenny Rose was from California. He was on that show, First and 10, with OJ. Kenny Rose broke down the whole situation after the OJ chase. I forgot about this. After the OJ chase, one night after practice, we were all we were at Westchester, and Westchester had those dorms where the building was like 3 long hallways and there was one big common area on each floor, right? So we used to all get together in those common areas, and we would, stay up late and do video games and all that kind of stuff, right? But Kenny Rose one night, he started talking about O.J. Simpson, and he broke down everything that was going on between him and the wife and all the stuff that happened the day after the famous Bronco chase. And when I tell you, months later, in the trials and all of that kind of stuff, months later, everything that dude said was spot on. That information came out in the trial. Everything he said was true. And I remember watching that trial and my jaw just hanging open because I was remembering everything that Ken had told us. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And you just, like, you never know. Never know who you gonna meet. But Ken was cool as hell, man. We used to have in that common area at Westchester, Eric Allen brought to camp, he had like 3 or 4 Tyco racetracks in one big box. So we set up this racetrack that took up the whole, now this room is had to be like 20 by 25. This was a huge room, probably bigger. And we set up a Tyco track that took up the whole room. And that weekend, everybody goes up to the local mall in Westchester, and they had like a little guy at a kiosk that was selling the cars. So all of the guys on the team, we went up there and bought like 2 and 3 cars off this dude. And we would stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning racing Tyco race cars in camp. Kenny Rose would always have his VCR hooked up to the TV. And Kenny Rose was one of the dudes that really got me interested in anime. Because he'd be in there. We was watching Akira. We was watching Legend of the Legend of the Chojin, something like that. That crazy anime that was all of that stuff, man. Kenny Rose, because Ken was real tight with Willie T, and that's how me and Willie T got tight. But Kenny Rose broke his ankle in the season and was back on the field in 3 weeks. Because he was doing some ancient Chinese stuff, man. That dude was off the chain. Middle of LA summer and the cup of frozen yogurt. Yeah, man. A lot of stuff wasn't brought up. So, yeah, that was crazy. I just remember just the feeling of shock watching the trials and just remembering everything that Kenny Rose had told us. And almost everything he told us was true. He even told us some stuff about like their relationship and like she was messing around on him and he caught her, and like it was a bunch of stuff. I don't even want to get into it because I know I'll probably say something wrong, but needless to say, he laid out a lot of groundwork that came to pass, and I was flabbergasted, bro. I was done. 1st and 10. Got you grounded for a week, didn't it? That was HBO back in the 80s, man. So I'm sure there was some topless teenagers in that show. Yeah. Oh man, how did we go down this rabbit hole? But all right, man. I'm gonna shut it down. This has been a good night tonight, man. This was a good conversation. Not worried about my Eagles. We're in good shape. I appreciate everybody for joining me. We got 100 people on Twitterverse and 115 people in the YouTube. So that's a good night for me. That's 215 people watching this stream, and I appreciate everybody. If you're still watching and you have not hit that subscribe button, please do. And not for nothing, I should have my super chats activated. If you want to leave a super chat, that's available for you. So I'm just now getting into that. I've never really done too much of that. But they are active and they are working. So if you want to leave a super chat, you're more than welcome, and I appreciate it. But I just appreciate everybody being on it, man. We had a good time tonight. I will be back on Wednesday at 12 noon. I go 12:10 to 12:50. That's my live at lunch, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the big show is going to be 7 o'clock on Thursday. 7 o'clock on Thursday. Pro Fan Talk will be live and kicking it. And then I'm thinking about streaming on Friday, like right at this time again, because this seems to be a hot time. I get good viewership from here. I'm trying to cultivate some people that can tune in from the West Coast, because we got a lot of Eagles fans in Dallas, in Utah, in San Diego, out on the West. So I'm trying to go late enough where they can kind of chime in and be a part of it. So, Chris, I appreciate you. Cody, I appreciate you. Jason, as always, brother. Clab Kabash, I appreciate you, bro, for tuning in. Next time, bring friends. Bow 316, I appreciate you, man. You becoming a regular. Thanks for the recollection with Kenny Rose, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff, man. So good night tonight, man. I appreciate everybody on the Twitterverse that's listening. So go ahead and have a good night. I'm probably going to have some produced stuff tomorrow, or you will see me Wednesday at noontime. And then, of course, hit that Thursday show, man. That's where it's going to be. All right. I will keep checking my Twitter or my Facebook, because I will have a print, like a post of the schedule, because I am efforting to get a consistent schedule, because that's how you grow. Got to be consistent so you guys know when and where to find me. But I'm going to have like a post up that you can like download, keep it on your phone, so you will see my schedule. So there'll be no misunderstandings, man. So, but I appreciate everybody. Do me a favor. If you're listening to this podcast, invite somebody to subscribe, because I'm trying to grow. My goal is I got to get 500 people on one stream. That's the goal. I want 500 in YouTube and like 400 on Twitterverse. That's where I want to be. That's the goal, man. We're going to make it happen. So I appreciate you all. Thanks for joining in. You guys have a good night, and I will check you out on the next one. Go Birds.